The traditional library is changing fast. Paper books and the multi-level structures that house them are becoming a thing of the past, while digital books, eBooks, pave the way for a new future of instant, worldwide accessibility to knowledge. The World Library is at the forefront of this movement. Hi, I'm Mia with the World Library, and I would like to invite you on a journey through the library's past, present, and future. Along the way, we'll explore what has made the library such a unique and important place historically, and what the World Library is doing today to make the library more useful and vital than ever before. It's impossible to think about the progress mankind has made without calculating the role that the library has played. Any city that's had a great impact on learning has had a great library behind it, fueling that learning. Libraries date back to 1900 BC in the Sumerian city of Nippur. Nippur's library held tens of thousands of inscribed clay tablets. These tablets themselves dated as far back as 2600 BC and included mathematical tables and almanacs. The first great library was founded in 290 BC by the Ptolemy dynasty in Alexandria, Egypt. The Library of Alexandria, as it came to be known, housed between 250,000 and 500,000 papyrus scrolls. The library tried to acquire copies of all writings, sending agents far and wide to acquire texts. Scrolls were bought, copied, and stolen. Boats visiting Alexandria were required to lend any writings on board to the library for the purpose of copying. Some were returned. Tragically, the Library of Alexandria was destroyed by mobs sometime in the 3rd or 4th century AD. As impressive as these libraries were, neither allowed access to the general public. The great Renaissance libraries that followed were much the same, private collections for the wealthy and intellectual elite. The first truly public lending library was founded by Benjamin Franklin in 1731. This library allowed anyone to borrow, member or not, but required that non-members put down collateral in the event they decided not to return their book. Today, what makes the library so distinctive is that all its resources at all of its branches can be used by anyone for free. It was Franklin D. Roosevelt who said, "The public library is a nation's act of believing in the capacity of its own people, so to learn from the past that they can gain in judgment in creating their own future." John Guagliardo, the founder of the World Public Library, has said similarly that all the wisdom of our ancestors has been preserved in books and written works and saved for future generations. His mission and the mission of the World Library is to create free, instant, global access to all recorded knowledge. But what happens when the materials in a library become more fit for a museum? And what does a library do when it takes a building the size of the Smithsonian to hold all of its materials? Mark Adams is the Public Relations Coordinator for the World Library.
All the books in your local library branch are used and handled and torn, spilled on. And regardless of how careful patrons are with the materials, there will be accidents and there will be wear and tear over time. So it follows that most libraries have a preservation department, an entire department of people devoted to repairing the materials and maintaining them in the library. Even so, there are certain materials that simply can't be handled. Thomas Jefferson's version of the Declaration of Independence, or a rare copy of the Gutenberg Bible, can't be handled or read by patrons. They're simply too precious as artifacts. Another problem libraries around the world encounter is the lack of space. There are too many materials and not enough room to store them all. In the New York Public Library main branch, there are 7 floors of stacks, all full of books. You can't go to the books, they must be brought to you. The library is always trying to balance between preservation and access. The irony is that the more people who have access to the book, the further the book deteriorates. But when you try to preserve the book, you end up taking away access. The solution is eBooks, high-resolution preservation that can also be accessed by anyone and everyone.
With the advent of digital technology and the prevalence of the internet, there began a new era in the history of the library, the ebook. Why use resources preparing and preserving works to be handled when you can create digital versions that don't need maintenance and can be used by millions of people simultaneously? Every book in this library can be accessed on a single device. Suddenly, the need for more storage space disappears as well.
We don't have a preservation department. We don't need one. We don't have building after building full of stacks either. You can access and read Thomas Jefferson's draft of the Declaration of Independence or that copy of the Gutenberg Bible. Or you can peruse any one of thousands of copies of classic works with author's notes in the margins. You could even study the ancient cuneiform script of the Sumerians. We also provide access to the Dead Sea Scrolls and classic sheet music. Because our books are in digital form, we don't have limitations on the usage of rare items. We started in 1994 as a small online resource for teachers and students. In 1996, it became clear that there was a huge demand for free digital access to books, and we founded the World Public Library. Since then, we've founded dozens of branches catering to the specific needs of different communities, all based on the idea behind the original public library. Anyone can access the materials and do so for free. By the time children reach college age, books become extraordinarily expensive, making it harder to access the knowledge that helps a child decide on and pursue a career path. My son used to pay between $100 and $200 per textbook. How can young adults be expected to spend $500 or $600 on books every semester when many of them are barely able to afford tuition? We're rewarding curiosity for everyone. This is not a private Renaissance library. It's a public library, and that's what we're trying to retain in the digital age. The difference is, it used to be that you walked into a library and what was available to you was whatever you saw on the shelves. It wasn't until 20 or 30 years ago that libraries came up with a system called interlibrary lending, where you could order something from another library and have it delivered to the branch closest to you. Basically, what we've created at the World Public Library is the world's largest consortium of interlibrary lending branches of digital materials. These digital resources are available to us stemming from over 6,000 libraries around the world, totaling more than 3 million books. We're adding books at the rate of 100,000 every month.
The librarians at the World Library are constantly busy collecting and making available to readers the library's vast collection of knowledge, over 3 million books, 100,000 audio files, and 100,000 pieces of sheet music.
Our collections are built on the idea that they will be used to learn and then create new knowledge. There's this wealth of human knowledge available, and you just sign in and you take it. No borrowing, no late fees. The books are yours and they are free.
Among the largest collections in the World Public Library are the American, European, and Canadian collections. The American Library's collection consists of books from libraries around the country. Scanned texts from libraries across America have all been gathered here in one collection. Each book is made from scans of the originals, archived in regional library facilities. Popular, rare, and brittle books have all been digitally remastered. The European Library offers access to the resources of 47 European national libraries. The resources include books, magazines, journals, audio recordings, and other material. The Canadian Library's collection is a collection of books from libraries across the country. The books have all been gathered here in one collection. Each book here was found on shelves of libraries in Canada or archived in regional library facilities. The books were carefully scanned from originals. The selection process was based on the popularity, rareness, and need to preserve brittle books. All the scanned books have been converted and digitally remastered for online access. The World Library is designed to connect people more efficiently with the resources they need. The founders of the library wanted the website to be easily navigable. The architects of the website designed every detail with the user experience in mind.
When the website was created, a real-world experience was prioritized. We have digital books, so it follows we would have digital bookshelves. Every patron has their own personal bookshelf to place their book on and return to later. Once you find the book you want, you don't have to find it again.
They also wanted the books to be easily located. Think of how much time a student can save when he or she can search an entire library of books in a matter of seconds.
Back when I was in college, I had to write a thesis paper, and I spent weeks inside big public libraries shuffling through card catalogs and microfilm, only to find the wrong books in the wrong microfilm. The whole thing left me sick from the dust and being inside all the time, and that was 30 years ago. I dreamed that one day there would be a way to access the materials I need at the push of a button. That's what's happening today at the World Public Library. We have full-text search technology built into our library. You can search all the content of every single book we have. If the word you search appears on any page of any book we have, the search engine will find it and bring it right to you with the click of a button. It's one thing to have vast numbers of materials. It's another thing entirely to be able to find the materials you need.
The World Library's advanced search tool uses a full-text search function which searches for a specific word or phrase by looking for it inside of every one of their millions of books and articles.
All of our books on the site are compatible with any computer, any smartphone, any tablet or mobile device on the market. You can transfer your book onto the device in just a few seconds and then take it with you on your device just like you would a paper book. And in fact, you don't even need to download the book because with our cloud library service available to anyone, you can place your book on your bookshelf and then use it on your device wherever you are. It's incredibly simple. Additionally, we make video tutorials available. These tutorials are entirely comprehensive for someone just learning how to use the website or for someone just learning how to use technology. You don't need to know how to use a computer to use our site because these videos are just like having someone in your home walking you through not just the website, but how to use a computer. We're able to train anyone to be computer literate and access the knowledge they want through modern technology. It's really a service we feel is in line with what the library has always been about, increasing knowledge within communities. But now we're able to do it on a global scale. I'm always curious about who's using our library, where they are, and what it makes them think or dream about, because it's such an inspiring place.
The World Public Library's main branch is only one facet of an extraordinarily innovative institution. The World eBook Library is a world-class research branch of the World Public Library and was created when it became clear that there was a need for easy access to digital resources for academic research.
World eBook Library's academic collections are comprised of curated books from every field of study or academic discipline taught at the college or university level. The World eBook Library's Millennium Collection is a collection of the greatest books from the last 1,000 years. These collections are full of millions of primary and secondary sources and also include a selection of our research collection. So much has happened over the last 1,000 years, and many of our common ideas and stories are passed down from one generation to the next. The Millennium Collection has gathered millions of the most influential and greatest books directly documenting or inspired by the stories of the last millennium. We understand the high standards that exist in higher education today, and we know that the library collections available to an institution greatly influence that institution's academic ranking. So we listen to educational institutions because they know best what educational content should be discoverable in our academic and millennium collections.
The inspiration and education of young minds has often been at the heart of what libraries have tried to accomplish throughout their existence. And this remains true at the school ebook library branch today.
Our branch selects and curates books that are fun and engaging for children, titles that make children actually want to read. So we have thousands of books in our children's literature collection. All the books are portable, of course, and have been specifically formatted for tablets or smartphones. We've also acquired thousands of educational video tutorials for both children and adults. In this day and age, video content plays such an important motivating role in children's learning. We've actually partnered with the media production department to create video books that actually have live performance readings from Wally Amos. So that's pretty exciting. Just like a personal library at home, all of our patrons have access to their own digital bookshelves. K-12 institutions can even create their own reading list for entire classes or groups of students. We curate our own collections and reading lists based on age group that institutions or educators could use really easily for their classrooms, for their lessons, or parents could just use for home learning.
I'm Wally Amos, and I'd like to take this opportunity to talk with you about Read It Loud and Read Together Foundations. Both organizations were created to promote literacy. Read It Loud encourages parents of children ages 1 to 6 to read to their children for 10 minutes a day. The Read Together Foundation encourages students from kindergarten to 12th grade to read together or be read to recreationally. We believe if children read at least 10 minutes a day, they will become a reader for life. The love of reading starts with a good book. To help you find a good book, Read It Loud and Read Together are donating e-library cards for every K-12 student around the world at no cost to them. The Read It Loud and Read Together Foundations are underwriting all the costs, so children of all ages are able to have access to hundreds of thousands of eBooks.
At Read Together, we believe that in order to encourage young readers and eradicate adult illiteracy, we have to all commit to reading together. Now, the biggest obstacle we face is the lack of tools and the resources available to the underprivileged around the world. There's just not enough resources to go around in some of these places, but with digital books, that's never a problem. We partner with different manufacturers that have put eBooks on every hard drive of each computer sold. Well, Read Together has partnered with One Laptop Per Child, an international organization that empowers the world's poorest children with laptop computers. Each laptop has a selection of our children's literature collection.
When you sign up for an e-library card at the school ebook library, we are enabling and empowering you with millions of library resources. In turn, your support then enables organizations like Read It Loud to empower the underprivileged all over the world. You are acknowledging and actively supporting the need for a worldwide library of knowledge, and your support matters. It's easy to sign up. Simply fill out the library card registration form on our website. There's a small $8.95 annual e-library card fee. You are now a member of the world's library and an active supporter of literacy and accessibility to knowledge all over the world.
We also curate the World Heritage Encyclopedia. It's a dynamic digital encyclopedia that is the most comprehensive encyclopedia ever compiled. It is assembled from an aggregation of hundreds of distinctive encyclopedia databases, of which Wikipedia is only one. World Heritage Encyclopedia believes the Common Core standards are important, So at worldheritage.org, you'll find tools to help improve student performance, strengthen instructional effectiveness, and maximize the use of your technology. Every month, thousands of new articles, images, and multimedia elements are added. Unlike printed encyclopedias, we're continually editing, updating, and appending articles. Articles are crowdsourced, peer-reviewed, and edited. Historic events appear within hours, minutes of their occurrence, rather than months or years.
The World Journals collection has millions of articles from scholarly, peer-reviewed, editorial-reviewed journals from around the world.
Our collections include articles from every field of study and emphasizes the STEM subjects. In fact, our collections include every journal from every major university around the world. We pride ourselves in being the most comprehensive and authoritative source for academic journals. Patrons can absolutely download the journals as PDFs, or they can read them in our quick viewer online. There is no other organization in the world providing this quantity of academic journals with such quality of discovery tools. As a matter of fact, our entire team comes to work every single day excited about the revolutionary work we're doing here.
We're committed to make the library more useful and vital than ever before.
Among the curious who visit the World Public Library and its branches are the future authors and creators of the world.
When you visit the World Library, you get the sense that something important is happening, that the gathering of all this knowledge must inspire important work, that this is a place where brilliant ideas are born and where brilliant minds come to fuel brilliant thoughts. It was in that spirit that we created the Project Gutenberg Self-Publishing Press, a unique addition to the traditional library system. Project Gutenberg Self-Publishing Press is a place where you can publish your own book free. After you upload your book, it is made immediately available through the Cloud Library service. Then anyone, anywhere in the world visiting one of our branches where your book is relevant can read your book and leave comments and feedback for you as an author. You in turn can find the work of other authors in your position and read their work. It's a great way to get your work out into the public eye without giving away all your rights as an author to a traditional publisher. You're publishing your work at the library, but not your local library, the world's library.
On the other end of the spectrum is a place without many books at all.
Well, when people think library, they think books. But we've prioritized the gathering of knowledge, art and history in any medium or form. We've gathered countercultural items, thousands of graphic novels, comic books, and manga titles. We also have thousands of video games, which can be played and are interactive. We collect information and knowledge, period, whether we agree with it or like it at the time. We're also responsible for curating historical and contemporary images, which are royalty-free, and they're downloadable in full resolution. It is a resource for documentation, creativity, and inspiration.
The Noah's Archive project is acquiring a digital facsimile of each and every written artifact in history and storing them in an online perpetual access archive, a digital vault, accessible by anyone, anywhere in the world.
Our mission to preserve digital facsimiles of all written works is a global, 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week effort. And we take our job of being the caretakers of the world's knowledge seriously, and protection of digital materials is paramount. All our publications are backed up at our secure off-site digital vault.
The Noah's Archive project acquires a digital facsimile of each written artifact and stores them in an online perpetual access archive, a digital vault. And the location of this digital vault is as secure as it gets.
Our newest data center is located here in this underground vault for our long-term archival efforts to go ahead and protect against environmental catastrophes. Much of the information we've gathered over the past 20 years is irreplaceable, and so we've had to make considerations for long-term cold and warm storage needs.
The greatest problem that we face today is the loss of materials before we have the chance to digitize them. Rare and precious documents are lost forever. They're destroyed by deterioration or overuse or theft.
I'm Gary Weller. My company is Mana Ikaika. We started this business in 2000. We acquired a old World War II underground bunker. This facility was built back in 1943. It was built to protect Kaneohe Marine Base from the re-invasion of the Japanese. When I found this facility, I thought this was the perfect place to archive data.
Our data centers are powered by multiple renewable energy sources. In the case of an emergency, we have a cluster of backup generators and uninterrupted power supplies that are fed by an array of batteries. We also have specially designed air handling and chilling equipment to go ahead and make sure that our hardware performs at peak efficiency and maintains longevity.
Today, the modern public library is not across town or even down the street. It's in your home, in your car, it's here or wherever you want it to be. Thank you for joining us.